The use of Iranian drones, it's become a hot topic of debate amid the war in Ukraine. Kyiv and the Western countries, they've accused Tehran of supplying drones to Russia, which Iran has continued to deny. But in the latest, for the first time ever, Iran's Foreign Minister Hossein Amir-Abdollahian has acknowledged that Tehran has supplied Russia with drones, but was quick to add that the transfer happened before the war started between Russia and Ukraine.
این هیاهویی که برخی از کشورهای غربی به راه انداختن که جمهوری اسلامی ایران برای کمک به جنگ اوکراین موشک و پهپاد در اختیار روسیه قرار داده، بخش موشکش کاملا غلط هست، بخش پهپادش درست هست. ما مقدار معدودی پهپاد ماها قبل از جنگ اوکراین در اختیار روسیه قرار دادیم. ما توافق کردیم با وزیر خارجه اوکراین چنانچه هر گونه مستندی در اختیار دارن که روسیه از پهپاد ایرانی در اوکراین استفاده کرده اون رو در اختیار ما قرار بده.
The comments made by Tehran's foreign minister comes weeks after Iran repeatedly denied that it had been supplying arms to Russia for use in the Ukraine war. In addition to that, 2 weeks ago, the foreign minister had said that Tehran and Kyiv had agreed to discuss allegations about the use of Iranian drones in Ukraine. But the Ukrainian officials did not show up for that meeting.
مقامات اوکراین دعوت می‌کنیم در یک نشست دوجانبه در سطح متخصصان فنی ایرانی و اوکراینی هر گونه سندی در خصوص این ادعا وجود دارد ارائه بکنند. موضع ما در خصوص اوکراین عدم تسلیح طرفین جنگ هست. ما مخالف جنگ در اوکراین هستیم.
Although in recent weeks, Ukraine has reported a surge in drone attacks on civilian infrastructure, notably targeting power stations and dams, they claim that Iranian-made drones were used in the attacks. But Russia has denied that its forces have used Iranian drones to attack Ukraine. For more on this now, we're now being joined by John Rath, Policy Director of the Center for Arms Control and Non-Proliferation in Washington. Thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast.
Thank you for asking me.
Now, my first question to you, Iran's foreign minister has acknowledged that Tehran has supplied Russia with drones, of course specifying that the transfer happened before the war began. What do you make of this?
He may just as well have acknowledged that the sky is blue or that water is wet. It's been common knowledge that Iranian drones have been present and have been used by Russia for many weeks at this time. The important thing now is that Iran is framing its acknowledgement in a way to indicate that it is not responsible for Russia's use of them. That is to say that for any war crimes being committed by Russia by targeting civilians and civilian infrastructure, Iran does not want to be held responsible.
Right, absolutely. Now, Tehran and Kyiv had also earlier agreed to discuss the allegations about the use of Iranian drones in Ukraine. Now that that has come to light, that Iran did in fact supply drones, what does that say about Iran's position in this war? As you mentioned, it may want to absolve itself of all responsibility of them being used in this war. I
think Iran is in a difficult position. They are subject to a variety of economic sanctions for their support of terrorism and for their nuclear program. And their economy is in a very serious situation. So clearly they want to make money by selling whatever they can to whomever they can. But they are sensitive to world opinion, and they don't want to see their equipment being used to commit war crimes or other illegal acts.
Right, absolutely. Now, that being said, how do you see the situation panning out going forward?
I think Russia's strategy is very clear, and its use of Iranian drones and other weapons to target civilian infrastructure is part of a larger plan to raise the costs on the Ukrainian people for continuing the war, to weaponize winter so that the Ukrainian people will be subject to cold and starvation if they continue fighting and if they continue being successful. In addition, we see nuclear threats to try to separate Ukraine supporters from Ukraine, and the deployment of 300,000 or more reservists to indicate that Russia's army on the front lines is stronger and it will be more difficult to take territory. This is all part of a plan to reinforce that impression that continuing the war will be more difficult than ending it now.
All right. So now that we do know that Iran did supply Russia with drones, do you think this will have any practical implications for Russia or Ukraine in this war?
I think Russia's use of the Iranian drones and other minimally effective weapons, minimally effective in a military sense, shows that they are increasingly desperate. They feel that they are not winning the war, that they need to consolidate their gains and to stop the fighting now before they lose what territory they have gained, and have what is worse than losing territory, the international perception that Russia has lost. That would be a great blow to their prestige.
All right. And Mr. John Irad, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast with all your insights on this.
You're very welcome.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.